Great. Good morning. We're excited to talk with you today about our accounting programs. My name is Michelle Dowling. I'm the program manager for accounting, and I'm here to talk with you about the benefits of joining our program. So let's get started. So what you'll get out of today. So this is our agenda. We're going to go over the $100 coupon code that you'll receive just for attending today's session. So make sure to stick around to the end of the program. We're going to give you an overview of our program. We're going to introduce you to one of our instructors, and we're going to go over what you can expect to learn in your courses. We'll also talk about program costs and the process for CPA licensure. So one exciting perk of joining us for today's webinar is that just by attending, you'll receive a $100 coupon towards your first class. So after the information session, you'll get an email, and that'll have the coupon code with a discount. So I want to take a moment to introduce you to our primary contacts in the program. As I said before, I'm Michelle. I'm the program manager. Rounding out our program team is Joanna Siebert. She's our associate director. And then Heather Ogle, who's our program assistant. If you have any questions about your academic progress or require program details, please feel free to contact myself or Heather. And our contact information is on the screen. It's on our website, and it'll also be in the follow-up email. So we wanted to go ahead and pause for a brief poll. We want to learn a little bit more about you all. So one thing that we're really interested in is why you're interested in our program. So go ahead and check all that applies. You know, we have a variety of people that take our program. Some people are already in the accounting field. Some people are looking for a career change. Others need a certificate to apply for a job, perhaps with the state of California. And then some other people just want to have the courses needed for the CPA exam.
All right, looks like most of you have put something in. Let's take a look. Okay.
Great. We have a lot of career changers, so that's good. Good to know. This is an excellent program, especially for those of you who didn't study accounting or business as undergraduates. It's an opportunity to really round out your experience in your curriculum and fill out your resume. Thanks so much for sharing. All right. So given our limited time today, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the details of our program structure. There's a lot of great information on our website, and we also encourage you to contact any of us if you have specific questions or you want to talk about what's best for you and what course plan you should pursue. But there are a few important things that you want to know about our program. For example, all of our courses are offered online. Our courses are offered on a quarterly basis, just like UC Davis courses, and each of the accounting courses spans about 11 weeks. All of the accounting courses are 4-quarter credit units, so that's about the equivalent of 2 2/3 semester units for those of you coming from semester universities. You can take the courses individually, or you can take them as part of a certificate. The only thing you need to be aware of is prerequisites. You can take any of our courses a la carte. You just want to make sure you either meet the prerequisite requirement or you take the prerequisite with us. For those of you wanting to pursue certificates, academic certificates, we do offer 2 options. We have an Accounting Essentials Certificate, and that is aimed at individuals who are interested in gaining basic accounting skills. Perhaps you didn't study it in college and you want to get that experience so that you can work as an accounting assistant, perhaps an accountant for the state, or something that doesn't require official CPA licensure or exam. And then we have the Accounting CPA Track Certificate. And that covers all the courses that you'll need and all the credit units that are required for the CPA exam. And we can talk with anyone more about that, but if you are interested in that track, you'll also want to check out the State of California Board of Accountancy's requirements, because ultimately they're the ones who will administer the exam. So I do want to note that we are in the process of updating our program for 2019. So you'll want to check back on our website or talk with us for any updates. We'll still offer these 2 options for the certificate, and we're still going to meet all the goals that people are looking for. We're not going to alter the courses, but we probably will change up the format a little bit, and some of the scheduling may change. So we definitely encourage you to stay in touch either by the internet or by phone about those changes. So I want to take a moment to introduce you to our group of talented instructors. They're all CPAs, and they work in varying areas of accounting. And we're really lucky today to have one of our experienced instructors with us. So Monique Smalling, who teaches several courses in the program, has joined us. Welcome, Monique.
One of the, I think, misconceptions of online classes is that it's, the student might not be focused or motivated to complete the work, or it's an unstructured environment. But with the classes that I teach, we have weekly modules, and there's weekly assignments due every Sunday. So the way, just to kind of give you an overview of how some of my classes work, every week there's two weekly assignments. We've got a discussion board where I'll start the week with a starter question, and then as students respond, I will post follow-up questions to help them learn the material throughout the week. And there's also a weekly homework assignment. And what's nice is these assignments are due on Sunday night. So for those that work during the week and want to focus, the bulk of their schoolwork on the weekend, they have that option. Usually I ask that they post in the discussions at least once during the week to kind of keep the conversation going. But additional posts can be on the weekend. Also, there's a weekly video that the students can watch. It's PowerPoint slides with voiceovers of me going over each chapter for that particular week and covering the key concepts. There's typically a midterm and a final exam. And then usually I have a final paper that kind of helps the students recap some of the major points we covered in the class. So for example, for an intermediate accounting 1 class, we would talk about the different concepts we covered, and it would be, like a, 4 or 5 page paper, learning, practicing our business writing skills, but, reiterating some of the key points that we learned. Another advantage of online classes is you really do have a lot of communication with your instructor. The classroom itself, which is in Canvas, there's a discussion board where you can post questions and the instructors will check it every day. Canvas also has a inbox feature where you can send your instructor a private message and they will reply to you, and it goes through email. You can also email your instructor directly or call them. So I always reply to my students. I try to reply within a few hours, at least within 12 to 24 hours. So you have that access to your instructor, which can be helpful when you have questions on the material or on the class. Does anyone have any questions on the online classes?
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, you go ahead and type those in, or if you think of anything while we're going through the presentation, please feel free to type stuff into that Q&A box.
Monique, what would you recommend to students who want to get the most out of your classes?
I would recommend taking advantage of the resources offered within each class. As I mentioned, there's a weekly lecture that you can watch, and I try to keep mine on the shorter side because I know no one wants to sit and watch, a 60 or 90-minute lecture, so mine tend to be kind of shorter and to the point. But that's a good way to start each week, just so as an introduction to the material. I encourage them to be involved in the discussion board and post early in the week. Read my follow-up questions because I gear my follow-up questions to help students learn the material throughout the week. And then, reaching out if they have questions. I mentioned the different ways that they can access their instructor, but, not to hesitate to reach out if they need help.
That's excellent. I have one question here about meeting in person or on campus. I know the instructors, live far afield, so I don't know if you have any experience meeting up with folks, or if you do most of your instruction through those tools that you were talking about on Canvas.
I do most of my instruction through the tools that I mentioned. I always have my phone with me, so if students email me, it goes to my Yahoo account, and my students will tell you I typically reply within a couple of hours, and I do check in with my classroom multiple times a day and even on weekends so that I can answer questions.
Okay, thank you.
if anyone has any thoughts from Monique after she parts ways with us, you can always email Heather or I, and we'll make sure to get the questions to her.
Yes, excellent. And I did have a question about if the recording will be available later, that hopefully we'll have the Monique's audio better recorded on that. And absolutely, we'll be sending you guys a link to the recording once our tech team gets it processed onto the internet for us. So don't worry about that. We'll be in touch with this.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much, Monique. And feel free to stay on and listen to the rest of the presentation, but we appreciate your time.
Thank you, and please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions on the classes.
Great, thanks. All right. So at this point, I want to show you a list of our upcoming classes. So each class, as Monique mentioned, follows a weekly schedule, and you'll get guidance and feedback on your work from an instructor who has firsthand knowledge in the field. As you saw on our list, we have a variety of instructors because we deliberately pick people who are experts in tax or in auditing. They do it every day in their full-time jobs. Our classes start October 1st, and they run about 11 weeks. So one of the classes we're offering, and we offer every quarter, is Principles of Financial Accounting. So this is the course you'll want to begin with. It's the prerequisite for all the other courses in our programs. And as I mentioned, it's offered continuously. So you can begin a certificate program at any time. You can also begin to take classes at any time, because if you do need the Principles of Financial Accounting to take a higher level course, even if you're not pursuing a certificate, you'd want to start with that one. Another course we're offering this fall is Intermediate Accounting Part 2. That has the most prerequisites. That not only requires the principles class, it also requires Intermediate Accounting Part 1. So that's not something that those of you who are just starting the program would want to take this fall. Another course we're offering this fall is Accounting for Governmental and Nonprofit Organizations. The nice thing is, if you want to take an accelerated track, if you're in a position where you can take 2 courses per quarter, we usually recommend just 1 course for a working professional. But if you're in between jobs or you have a lot of support from your work and you want to take 2 at a time, you can take the course simultaneously with the prerequisite. So you could take Principles of Financial Accounting this fall, and then also take Accounting for Governmental and Nonprofit Organizations. And that way you'd have a leg up on getting the courses completed. And the last class we're offering is Ethics in Accounting. And this is a course that is required for those of you who want to sit for the CPA exam. And again, it's a course that can be taken concurrently with the Principles of Financial Accounting. So I want to pause a little bit for another poll. I'm really interested in how many of you are interested in just taking individual courses to round out your knowledge, and how many of you are interested in pursuing a certificate. Our certificates are usually at least 4 to 5 courses to make up a certificate program. Some are longer. We'll give a few minutes for you folks to respond to that. So it looks like most of you are interested in the certificate, which is great. And we try to make it really easy for people to put together the certificate program. As I mentioned, you can always start doing the essential certificate. Those courses are definitely valuable. And then if you realize down the road, oh, I want to sit for the CPA exam, you'll be well on your way. We really try to have the certificates work in tandem. Okay. If you're not sure if you want to pursue a certificate, we always recommend starting with that principles class. You're going to need that no matter what path you pursue. And then you can always talk with us or meet with us in person if you want to talk more about your personal course plan. So I want to talk a little bit about our online tools. As I mentioned, our program is completely online. We have some really stable tools we're using here at UC Davis. They've been working really well for us. Canvas is the learning management system that we use for our online courses, and it's where you're going to submit all your assignments, interact with your instructor, your classmates, see all your lecture videos. Everything you do is going to start off with Canvas. We may also use Zoom in your courses, and this is the technology we're using right now, and that's something that's kind of an online teleconferencing tool. A lot of you may use it at work. And that's another really easy tool, real stable platform. And we use that in some of our classes that have live webinars, or if an instructor decides to offer office hours to the class. So I want to talk a little bit about program costs. Each of our accounting courses is $880. Your textbooks are purchased separately. If you decide to pursue a certificate, there's also a one-time declaration of candidacy fee, and that's $125. If you do pursue a certificate, you have 5 years to complete all the coursework in that certificate. We really try to design and cater our program to working professionals, so we understand that sometimes life gets in the way. So for those of you who are on an accelerated course, you could take 1 to 2 courses a quarter and go right through the program and finish in a year or two. But for those of you who are working and have other things in your life and you're taking it as you go, you can have up to 5 years where your coursework will count towards a certificate. And you can put that declaration of candidacy form and fee anytime while you're taking classes. You don't have to do it prior to starting the program. Some folks start out not sure if they're going to pursue a certificate, then they really like the program and they realize they will. All you need to do is just submit that form and that fee and you'll be on our radar. We offer several discounts as well. We have an early enrollment discount of $50. That's for anyone who enrolls 2 weeks prior to the start date of the course. We also offer $50 off if you're a member of the Cal Aggie Alumni Association. It's interesting about that association. You can be a member of any UC Alumni Association, and you don't have to have attended one of the universities to be a member. Parents, family, friends can join. You just need to join, and then you get all the benefits of the Alumni Association as well as $50 off each of your courses with UC Davis Extension. We also offer a group discount of 10% or more, and that's if 3 of you enroll at the same time. So if your company wants to send several people to the same course and enroll at the same time, you'll get 10% off each person's tuition. These discounts can't be combined. So for example, if you know you want to do the Cal Ag Alumni Association discount, and then you're also getting the $100 coupon for attending today, you'll want to go with the $100 coupon. That's a better deal. But for that 10% off, that would be a better value. So we've talked about pricing. I want to talk a little bit about financing your education. So if you're interested in exploring funding from private loans or getting government assistance, since the GI Bill for veterans or workforce innovation opportunity for displaced workers, we have a staff member on our student services staff who's dedicated to working with students on financing their education. Her name's Diane Carr. Her information's up there on the screen, and you can contact her directly. We'll also include her information in our follow-up email. So we recommend securing funding a couple months before you really want to start classes. Some of these special allocations like the GI Bill and such can take a while for the paperwork. Even a private loan can take several weeks. So if you know you want to enroll in the fall, I would definitely initiate contact with Diane. Get those forms, get all the information you're going to need, and get that underway so that you know your funding's in place. So we're going to do one last poll. We're always curious to know if our students have taken accounting courses in the past. And this just helps us know what kind of courses you folks need. Were you an accounting major? Perhaps you were just a business or econ major, so you have some of the general courses, but maybe not specific courses. And then you don't need to have any accounting experience to take our program. So some of you may be complete career changers. You're a humanities major, you haven't taken any business courses, no problem. We have the courses you need.
All right, let's take a look what we have. So most folks say yes, you have some background in accounting. Then we've got a few of the business econ majors. I've talked to a couple folks with that background. And then some folks who are totally new to the field. So that's great. We've got kind of a pretty even mix there.
And as I mentioned, we really tried to design our 2 certificate paths so that you don't have to commit to one path and then be out of luck if you change your mind. If you start with our basic essentials accounting program and then you realize, wow, I'm loving this, I want to go all the way, I want to sit for the CPA exam, no problem. We can help you transition to the other path as well. So for those of you who are considering taking your academic career even further, you'll be pleased to learn that our Principles of Financial Accounting course and our Principles of Cost Accounting course fulfill the prerequisite requirements for the UC Davis Graduate School of Management's Master of Professional Accountancy program. So that's the master's that Monique mentioned she had. Several of our other instructors also have that master's. And those are for people who are very serious about their accounting education. We offer that degree right here on campus. And I would recommend contacting the Graduate School of Business directly for the details. But it's helpful if you weren't an accounting major as an undergraduate, it's important to know that we do help fulfill those prerequisites so you can start that program in a timely manner. So now I want to take a minute to share an interview we had with Janae Olin-Klinke from Becker Professional Education. So Becker provides exam prep courses and products for individuals who are interested in sitting for the CPA exam or pursuing CPA licensure. So I'm going to go ahead and play that, and we'll take a moment and listen to what Janae has to say. Sorry about that.
Hi everyone, my name is Janae Klinke. I'm the account manager for Becker Professional Education in California and Nevada. Becker Professional Education is an organization that works with universities, firms, and corporations to assist in students, employees, and staff getting licensed towards their CPA process. So we basically assist you in providing resources and information to get you where you need to go. And myself, I've worked with UC Davis Extension for the last 4 years, assisting their students, just making sure they have all of the resources, and the program itself is a great resource to make sure that you guys are meeting those educational requirements, which is step 1 in becoming a CPA. Educational requirements vary by jurisdiction and state, so you want to make sure that you're checking with the specific jurisdiction in which you reside. The easiest way to do that, to find out what your specific educational requirements are, is to go to NASBA's website, which is nasva.org. And I believe there will be a brochure that gets sent out after this presentation that will have all of this information in it as well. And NASBA's website will give a breakdown for every single state board. So as an example, in California, the educational requirements can be a little tricky to read in terms of what the requirements to sit for the exam are versus what the requirements to get licensed for the exam are. And that's why a program such as this UC Davis Extension program is very beneficial, because it will help you get through those requirements needed for both sitting and licensure, and help put you on the right track and get you closer to where you need to be. Usually, once the educational requirements are met, people will then apply to take the CPA exam. Application process, again, also varies by jurisdiction, but typically falls through AICPA. AICPA is the national governing body for certified public accountants. And AICPA is the institution that creates, develops, and scores the CPA exam. And most application processes will go through your state board, NASBA, or AICPA. Again, varies by state. Again, as an example, in California, people apply directly to the California State Board to make sure that they can be approved to actually sit and take the exam. Once you receive an approval saying that you are approved to take the exam, that's called an NTS, a notice to schedule. Once you receive a notice to schedule is typically good for 6 to 9 months. Also, again, varies by jurisdiction. But even though it's only good for 6 to 9 months, it's an easy reapply, which means at the end of, say, 9 months, you just do a reapply process. It's about a 2-week process just to get a reapply approval, and you can continue to test. One of the things that's important to note about the CPA exam is there are 4 parts to the exam, which is financial, which would be closely aligned to intermediate accounting. You also have audit, you have regulation, which is tax, and then you have business. And those 4 parts, all 4 have to be passed within one 18-month rolling cycle. So it's good to make sure that you, as Terry was mentioning, make sure you're planning and preparing and carving things out as best you can to know that you'll have an 18-month window to get them all passed together. When you actually go through and have received your notice to schedule, you've applied, you're kind of in that process, you're going to be, taking all of the concepts that you've learned throughout your UC Davis Extension course, and you're going to be really trying to put those together and create a study plan for yourself that's allowing you, as, again, Terry mentioned, which is sort of strategically trying to target a certain section at a time. You're not going to want to take multiple sections, but you're going to want to look at the best option for yourself in terms of which section to take first and which section to take next. A really good rule of thumb usually is you want to look at those sections that do have similar content or information. So typically in that case, you're looking at financial and audit tend to be the 2 CPA exam sections that have somewhat of similar content, and regulation and business have somewhat similar content. So you can kind of break those up. And even though you have 18 months, it's good to, I always say, tell yourself you have a year, knock one out every quarter. And that kind of puts it into an easier perspective since we're all used to taking quarter classes anyway. And then when you get through the process of getting your notice to schedule and being able to actually go test, you want to be familiar with Prometric. Prometric is the actual testing facility where you will go take the CPA exam. There are Prometric facilities everywhere in every major city. And you can test at any Prometric for any state approval. So as an example, and I say this because as you start to work in the accounting field, you may have clients in various states or jurisdictions, or you may travel for your job. And if you are approved by one state, you can still test anywhere because this is a national test. So as example, if you are living in California and working in California, and you have applied to California State Board and got approved, but then you get sent to Colorado to work, you can still test in Colorado if that timeline matches when you want to test. So good to know. Also, Prometric's website, which is also in the brochure that'll be sent out, if you go to prometric.com, they have about an 8-minute video that walks you through the entire testing process. So what to expect on exam day, what the actual testing facility looks like, and you can schedule a test drive with Prometric, which they will allow you to go in and actually go through the whole process. And it's about a 30-minute window that they give you just to kind of experience it, which is always a great thing to do. And then for the CPA exam licensure, again, you've gone through this process of meeting your educational requirements, you've gone through your application, you've studied, you've gone to Prometric, you've taken the exam, and once you've passed all 4, licensure usually is also dependent upon work experience. So one of the best forms of advice that I can give you if you have not already been working in the accounting field, or I know many of you said you were looking for a job change or looking to enhance your skills, one thing you might want to start to take a look at is internships or leadership programs or ways that you can start to obtain some additional accounting work experience while you're pursuing your educational goals. And that way, by the time you pass all 4 parts of the exam, you'll have obtained that work experience, and then you can apply for licensure.
All right.
Great. So we'll make sure to share all that information Janae referenced in the follow-up email we send to you. There's a lot of really good information on the web. As I said, we don't administer the exam, so we tend to refer you to places where you can get the information, but our job is more to prepare you with educational coursework. So I want to open the discussion up to questions at this time. We've been collecting your questions throughout the session. Just as a reminder, if you do have a question, go ahead and type it into the Q&A box on the bottom of your screen. And let's see, what do we have so far, Heather?
So we've got a couple of things in here. We had a question about principles of financial accounting. So say that you've got a strong background in accounting. Do we still need to take the principles as a prerequisite for all of the other courses?
Yeah, we do. You know, accounting, as you probably know, is pretty strict. And so we do have to honor the prerequisites. One thing we do allow is if you did study some accounting as an undergraduate or at another university and you have a comparable class, we will allow you to transfer one course into our certificate program. So what we recommend to people is if you've already taken the class, all we need to see is a description of the course from the catalog or website of the university where you took it, and then confirmation that you passed with a C or better, because in order to have courses contribute towards a certificate, you have to have a C or better in everything. So if you send us that information and we approve it, then you will get credit from UC Davis towards our certificate for that class. You'll transfer it in, and you also will fulfill the prerequisite. If you decide, sometimes people, for whatever reason, they want to take a course, say at a community college, maybe the schedule that we offer doesn't work for them, same thing, just clear it with us in advance, and then you can take that one, that'll count as your one class to transfer in, and then you can put that towards your certificate.
Excellent. I had another question about how our courses prepare for the CPA exam, and we just had that slide on CPA prep.
I mean, basically our courses are the same as what's required by the California Board of Accountancy to sit for the CPA exam. And they meet the credit units. It's 36 quarter credit units you need to sit for the exam. And then they have areas. So we offer courses that will get you there. We don't offer all the options. For example, business law is a course that they honor as in their business area. We don't happen to offer that, but you could take that at a community college or such. Or if you took it, what I always tell people is take a look at your undergraduate coursework and then take a look at the California Board of Accountancy list of courses, because some of the more general business courses you may already have, and you don't need to repeat them with us. You can, take them, because you have different paths. There's the academic certificate you can pursue with UC Davis Extension, and then some folks who have quite a bit of the coursework already done from college, they may just choose to take individual classes from us, so they meet those 36 quarter units to sit for the exam. And we're happy to talk with you about that individually. And there's a lot of resources on our website about that. But it does, as Janae said, the California Board of Accountancy, even their tip sheet can be a little confusing. So I'm happy to walk anyone through it.
Excellent. I have one question about how many classes should I take per quarter?
Yeah, this is a common question. As I kind of alluded to during the presentation, if you're working full time, we really encourage people just to start with one course per quarter. These are 4 credit unit courses, which means you're going to be investing 8 to 12 hours a week in your coursework. That includes viewing the lectures, doing the discussion interaction, doing the homework assignment, the problem sets, the quizzes, interacting with your classmates. It's a serious class, and you need to have a solid C or better to have it contribute towards the certificate. So I really encourage people, maybe start out with the first class, see what you think. If you are in between jobs, or you have a very supportive work, or you're working part-time, or you're maybe finishing your undergrad, you can investigate taking 2 courses at a time. Absolutely. We would never stop that. Our schedule may not work as well for you, since our schedule is designed for people who are going 1 course at a time, but you certainly could do it. We've had people do it. We just would want you to go in eyes wide open. What I always like to share with people is once you enroll and pay your tuition, you have 2 weeks to drop the class and get a refund. After that 2-week period is passed from when the class started, you can always drop the class, but just like at a regular college, you don't get any refund after that.
Okay, perfect. And do we have any sort of networking that we do? I know that in the coursework, students network with each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what we always tell people is we provide the courses you need to pursue your career goals. We don't do career placement. We really encourage people to join professional associations, really get involved with their peers professionally, and to learn about more job opportunities or to have mentors. Of course, our instructors serve as mentors for the students. And then the other great thing about having classmates and not doing it as like a correspondence course is you're going to have, 20 people in your class, some of whom are well on the way to CPA licensure, some who are brand new to accounting, and you can really reach out. I've had many students start corresponding with each other, hey, my firm is hiring. We also will post job announcements that we are made aware of in the classes. I'm certainly not adverse to sharing any job placement information with you. I just always try to make it clear to people that we don't do job placement specifically as part of our program.
All right, and then I've got, looks like one more. When is a good time to start the certificate program?
Oh yeah, well, fall's a great time because a lot of people do start in the fall, so we kind of design our whole funnel favors the fall, but you can start any quarter. We really try to cater to people who aren't on an academic schedule. So we'll start October 1st, and then we'll start another set of classes after the new year, and then again in the spring and again over the summer. So you really can join in anytime. Principles is offered every quarter. You can take that whenever you're ready. But I always like fall. I feel like even though many of us have moved beyond traditional classroom schedules, we still think of fall as a great time to start classes.
Looks like that's all I have for now. If anybody thinks of another question, feel free to send me an email or Michelle. Our contact info is on the front there, and I'm going to be sending you out an email with the link to this recording and some additional info in the next few days.
Yeah, including your coupon code, because you'll want to wait for that before you sign up for your next course. Yeah, we definitely encourage you. Just contact us if you want to come by. We're happy to meet with people in person if you're in the area. We're happy to talk with people over the phone. We really want to cater to your educational needs, so we'll talk with each of you about what path is going to work best for you. Well, thank you so